Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, I'll use an example to introduce the process nodes related to Excel spreadsheet operations. Excel functions support these file types. We're going to process two tables, each containing different information about invoices. We will first deduplicate table B, check if the invoices in table A match any invoices in table B, and record the matching result. Let's have a closer look at these two tables. In table A, the invoice code and invoice number are recorded separately, but in table B, these two numbers are recorded together under column invoice number. So the first thing we need to do is to connect the two numbers in table A. Then we can check if there is the same invoice in table B. Now we can design the process. Step 1, we need to input the two tables. Step 2, in case of errors, we need to back up these tables. Step 3, we will deduplicate table B, making sure that every row will appear only once. Step 4, connect each invoice code and number in table A with a hyphen. Step 5, check in table B if there is a matched invoice, and record the result in the first column of table A. Step 6, sort the first column in table A by match status. And lastly, save and close the file. Now, let's design the process in Cyclone RPA Designer. First, create two flows and name them Table Backup and Table Matching. Then, create two variables Table A and Table B. The initial values are the file paths of these tables. Add a try-catch node in Table Backup flow. As we are using the file paths of the two tables, we should input the two variables as parameters from the main flow to the current flow. On the try branch, add a copy file node and two variables table A copy and table B copy. The initial value should be the file path of the copies. In the node, set original file path to table A and new file path to table A copy. Similarly, add a copy file node for table B. In catch branch, we add a new catch exception block. In the block, add a determine whether the file exists node, in which we need to check if there is already a copy of table A. Then the output should be a Boolean variable. We can name it table A exist. Do the same for table B. Next, we should output the result whether the table copy exists or doesn't exist. To do that, add an if node. The general idea is that if the Boolean variable of the table is false, it means that the copy doesn't exist, and we should be informed of that. So for the if condition, we should write table A exist equals false. And the action is to pop up a message box saying table A copy doesn't exist. Do the same for table B copy check. If neither of these two conditions are met, which means that both copies exist, there should still be a message box saying "Copy successful." Then, add a return note to make sure that if any of the copies doesn't exist, the process would be terminated. And that is all for the table backup flow. Now, we will design the table matching flow. As is in table backup flow, table matching also needs to use the file paths of table A and table B. So we input the two variables as parameters into this flow. Next, add a Open Excel Workbook node. Set the file path to table A and choose Do Not Create Automatically when the file does not exist, in case that the process creates a blank workbook and adds information in it. Then set the output to a new variable, Excel A. After opening the table, we should read the data in it. Add a Read Range node. And the object is Excel A. Read range is specified range. Starting position should be by row and column, specifically row 2 and column 1. Then the node should return a two-dimensional array. We can name it Excel A array. Do the same for table B. However, after opening the table, we should first deduplicate, then read the data. So add a Data Deduplication node. Set the object to Excel B. If we leave the designated columns as empty, the node will deduplicate all rows in the table. After deduplication, add Read Range node. The read range is the same as in table A, starting from row 2 and column 1. The output should also be a two-dimensional array. We can name it Excel B array. Now we have the data from the two tables in the form of two arrays. If we want to match the information in these two arrays, we should use Array Iteration node. The first iteration is on table A, so we set the array to Excel A array. To avoid confusion, we should specify that the subscripts and the elements are in table A. Next, we will connect the invoice codes in table A with their respective invoice numbers. Add a concatenate string node. The connector is a hyphen, and the strings to be connected should be written as such. One in the square bracket refers to the column in table A that contains invoice codes, and 2 refers to the invoice number column. Click Carry Out to finish. The output string can be named Invoice Number Table A. Now we have acquired the connected invoice numbers. The next step is to find the matched invoice number in table B. To do that, we need another Array Iteration node. The array is Excel B array, and similar to table A, we need to specify the subscripts and the elements. In the iteration, we need to do the matching. That requires an if node. The condition is invoice number table A equals to the third column in table B. We should write it like this. If the equation is true, then we need to write in the respective matching status in table A. Add a write cell node. The file object is Excel A, and we should locate the cell by row and column. As we can see in the table, the second row holds the first line of information, and the index number referring to this row is 0. So the row we should write in is array index A plus 2. The column is 1. The data to be written is matched. To check if we have written any information in table A, we can add a variable called flag. The initial value is false, and if something is written, the value should be changed to true. So here we add a variable assignment node and assign true to flag. If the invoice number in table A has already found its match in table B, there is no need to complete the iteration, so we can add a break loop node here to avoid unnecessary work. If the iteration in table B has already been completed, and there is still no match for the invoice number from table A, we should also write a matching status. To do that, we can add another if node outside the iteration of table B, and the condition is that flag value is false. The operation is to write unmatched in the respective cell. Next, add another variable assignment node to reset the value of flag to false. Then, we need to sort table A by matching status we just added. Add a sort node and specify the object as Excel A, the start of range as A2 by cell name, and the sorting rules as descending based on column A. Lastly, save and close the workbook using Close Excel Workbook node. In the main flow, we first implement the table backup flow. And output the parameters into the flow. Then implement table matching flow. Also output the parameters. Next, we can run the process. We can see that the two tables are backed up, and in table A, the matching status has been written and sorted. And that is all for this video on Excel operations in Cyclone RPA Designer. Be sure to check other videos and our website for more information. Thanks for watching and see you next time.